Hello and welcome to the Musical Instrument Investigator. Today on the website of Gardiner Houlgate Auction is based in the UK. We're going to have a look at one of their auctions which forms part of their 4-day guitar auction series. So they have an auction coming up on the 11th of June, which we're going to look at now, another one on the 12th, and then one on the 13th and also on the 14th. I've already done videos for the auctions on the 13th and 14th, but now this is the one for the 11th of June. So this particular auction is mainly electric guitar related things. Also, the majority of stuff in this sale once belonged to Bernie Marsden, who is or was the guitarist with Whitesnake, who sadly passed away a little while ago. Actually, this auction was due to happen while he was still alive, but then suddenly he passed away, so this was postponed. So this is that auction. There's also some other kind of celebrity owned stuff in this auction a bit later on, and some other memorabilia, but the majority of it is guitar related stuff. This is a UK based auction. Buyer's premium is 26.4%. so this is an auction coming up on the 11th of June. It's the 9th today, so a few days left to go. I definitely recommend having a look through the catalogue if you're interested in guitars, and especially if you're interested in Bernie Marsden. I'm just going to do a brief overview because actually the guys and girls at Gardiner Houlgate do a really great job of going all over these different instruments in their YouTube themselves, so I definitely recommend looking at that channel if you get a chance. Do bear in mind the UK auction, so if you're looking to bid from overseas, export, import, shipping fees, CITES restrictions, all of that fun stuff. Just to say, if you do enjoy these videos, please consider subscribing, like, comment, turn on notifications, etc., because it really does help. So yeah, let's just have a quick brief overview and see if there's anything interesting here. We maybe will have a look at things which are a bit higher value for now. If we have a look at this one here, Bernie Marsden 2000 Fender Custom Shop John Cruz Master Built, so one of the top master builders there. Pre-production Rory Gallagher Stratocaster there, so that's quite interesting. Here you've got a link to their videos here, one of 40 by John Cruz. So like I said, the YouTube channel of Gardiner Houlgate themselves is really very good and quite informative. Obviously they're associated with the auction house, but still worth looking at. 4 to 6 is the estimate on that. 3-2 currently bid, so that's kind of interesting. We see clearly a big Strat fan there, lots here. More custom shops here, 1998 to 2006, so definitely had quite a good relationship here with the custom shop. We've got a Squire here as well, so quite a few different ones here. All the estimates are actually very reasonable so far. We've got Telly here, studio and stage used 2014, Dwight Clive Brown NSA 54 Blackguard. Okay, interesting. Ordered this guitar from renowned vintage restorer Clive Brown. Okay, interesting. So something a bit different there. 1 to 2000 on that. In good condition as it was intended by Clive Brown. Note this is a purposely relic guitar, and therefore ascertaining any wear through usage is difficult to advise. Frets are in good shape and general good serviceable guitar. Interesting. It's in his Bernie Marsden's book as well. So there you go, quite a nice looking instrument there. So they're a custom relic guitar there, and not a Fender itself. Here's another one by the same maker here, so that's quite interesting. And it does look like, let's just double check, so that is a Squire. Looks like another one here. Studio used 1955 Stratocaster replica electric guitar made in England. Okay, one of many replica guitars made for Bernie Marsden. Alright, NSA Never Seen America. Okay, interesting. Another Clive Brown. Okay, that's quite curious. So Bernie Marsden obviously interested in buying some high quality replica instruments as well. It's quite fascinating. I don't really know that much about the guy, so interesting to see. Right, Whitesnake era guitar there, Another Whitesnake era, but nothing too crazy on the estimates so far. Greco Roland G808 guitar synth. Interesting. 700 to 1,000 on that. Let's see what we've got here. 2007 Firebird there. 1991 Firebird. It's a Gibson ES 335 TD here. 5 to 7 is the estimate on that. A lot of good images here. More videos as well. Let's see what else. It's interesting here. Studio used 1991. Gibson there. Gibson ES 335. Purchased from York Guitars, Pennsylvania. Got an L37 arch top. It's quite nice. Circa 1935. Mid 1930s Gibson acoustic guitar here, 3 to 4. So it's got that old logo as well, so a mixture of things here. J45, that's probably going to be quite popular, 4 to 6. And that's another interesting J180. Gibson gold top conversion here. Three to 5 on that. Acquired by Bernie during the recording of his Big Boy Blue album. After seeing the guitar advertised on eBay. Okay, interesting. Whitesnake. It's one of these Gibson Firebrand 335S 1000 to 2000 on that. Given to Bernie by Gibson in 1980 as part of his artist endorsement with the brand. Interesting. Right, staged used Whitesnake 1977 Gibson RD Artist, which I think is an awesome guitar model as well. 2 to 3 on that. That's pretty cool. Definitely one of my favourite Gibsons. Let's see if there's lots of good videos here as well. Received from Gibson when Bernie had his first endorsement agreement. This model was top of the RD range in 1977. This guitar can be seen sat on the stage behind Bernie Marsden with Whitesnake on the Old Grey Whistle test, which is an interesting program if anyone remembers that. It's kind of like a pre-Top of the Pops thing. If you are from the UK, you'll probably know what that means. This is an interesting one here. 1980s Whitesnake era Gibson Flying V with these kind of looks like almost like Les Paul recording pickups or something. It's quite interesting. Let's have a look here. Electrics working. That's a really interesting one. Given to Bernie by Gibson, rep while on tour in Japan, 1980. Yeah, that's an interesting looking guitar, that one. 2 to 4, I have to say, all the estimates are really quite reasonable so far. Another stage played one, some Explorer here. There's some images as well. Later used by Andy Taylor of Duran Duran. Okay, interesting. Here's an autographed guitar with a few other people as well. One of these Dean guitars. Another Clive Brown doing Explorers as well, so I'm learning here about a few things. I'm quite out of the guitar world these days, but that is quite interesting. Here's Ibanez Destroyer, Tokai Explorer. Okay, let's have a look at this. Bernie Marsden and Peter Green Interests. Gretsch Streamliner, okay, 1 to 2000 there. bought by Bernie Marsden in New York. The end of the ill-fated Whitesnake, Judas Priest and Iron Maiden USA tour in 1981. Bernie loaned the guitar to his friend and guitar hero Peter Green in the 1990s as he enjoyed playing it. Okay, well, there you go. That's quite interesting. Gretsch Electromatic, that's interesting. Washburns here. Or Washburn Acoustics Yamaha. Nothing too crazy there. Basses as well. Some Taylors. Let's have a look at that. Interesting, like old Hofner type as well. Suzuki. Alvarez. Or Alvarez. Okay, more Silvertone stuff here. See if there's anything crazy. Let's have a look at this. Hofner President there. So not a lot of information there, but from his obviously fairly extensive collection. Custom made Strat guitar there. Not a lot of info there. Inscribed BM 2007 in the pocket. Okay. This is quite a nice model of guitar actually. Howard Roberts hollow body, 1976, 800 to 1200. I think that's a nice kind of looking guitar. Let's see what else we've got here. JHS. It's an interesting looking guitar there. And Stella. Let's see, we've got some other instruments here. Banjo there. Resonator. Some PRS here as well. Let's have a look at this. 2013 Paul Reed Smith. One of Paul's guitars. One of these limited edition ones. 2 to 3. One of many PRS guitars acquired by Bernie through his association as a brand artist. So nothing too crazy there. Let's see what else we've got. More Paul Reed Smith stuff here. A whole sea of things. And some more acoustics here. Let's see if there's anything super interesting. Really, he did have a lot of Paul Reed Smith guitars, clearly. It's an interesting signed one, stage used. This guitar was used by Bernie and later signed at the first Keeping the Blues Alive at Sea cruise organised by Joe Bonamassa in 2015. Okay, interesting. All these weird events going on for people in the know. Onto a few amps and things here. Marshall Valve Snake. Marshall Custom, that's a cute little head there. 5 to 800. Marshall Custom Offset, limited edition guitar amplifier, matching cabinet. Okay, interesting. A few more little amps there. Marshall Master Lead. Custom made amp there. That's interesting. Let's have a look at that. On the 75th anniversary. Or 75 reverb control plate actually. Yeah, 75 reverb. With unused plates. Okay, that's interesting. Let's see what else we got here. 1997 Marshall JCM 2000. And case there. Not a lot of info there. A few more Marshall amps here. Limited edition Marshall there. More stuff here. Fender Bassman. Some old Gibson amps here as well. Stage and studio use Gibson GA6 Lancer in his book as well. Okay, and one of these old Selma amps as well. Interesting WEM amp there. 2 to 400 on that. Not an amp that you see that often, I don't think, this kind. 1964, Watkins were commissioned to make 50 of these amplifiers for the famous Liverpool-based shop Hessey's. Charlie Watkins was later quoted that they ended up making much less. Interesting, yeah. I've not seen that amp before, so that's interesting. Victory amp there. A few more other amps there. Let's have a look. What else we've got? So that's curious. Marshall, PV, and Yamaha. Roland. Here's a Weinbrock amplifier here, 4 to 800. The first Bernie Marsden ME5 Barracuda guitar amplifier head made for him by Weinbrock Amplifiers. Interesting. On to the next page here. Let's see what else we've got here. Some of his various pedals as well. Boss and other things here. A lot of Boss equipment so far. One of these tone benders here from Vox that are quite popular. Colour Sound Wah, they're popular anyway. Rodenberg, Rotor Sound, that'll be all quite popular. Some interesting stuff here. Polytunes. Chord DS50, that's interesting. So it's collected a few different things here. Goco pedals here, a whole load of those. Some bits and pieces. Some cases here as well, I'm sure some of which are quite kind of important from his touring. So a lot of that kind of stuff, but nothing actually outrageously kind of highly priced at the moment, although there is another auction, so perhaps there's other stuff in that auction, but a lot more flight cases, bits and pieces, stuff like that. Some pickups. You could buy if you're on a budget, you could buy some humbuckers or some other pickups that he owns. Some Bill Lawrence there, some tuners as well. So it really is like they've dug out the bits box. I've actually got the same here. I've just got ridiculous amounts of boxes of random bits of guitar, to be honest, that I should really get rid of at some point. So, and then we're into kind of some pro audio stuff, keyboards, microphones. Looks like quite well used there. Well used microphones, but a bit of history. Some other kind of drum related stuff and some autographed things that might be of interest to people. Some artwork kind of stuff as well. So it's quite curious. If you're a fan, that'll be probably quite popular. More stuff here. Johnny Winter. More memorabilia. Okay, some more amps here. Stage and studio used a Soldano head here. There's a picture in the back there in later times. Okay, so it's something that's already been sold previously in another auction. So maybe lots of other stuff has already been sold in the past. That's JCM 800 here, a few cabs. 1974 Marshall. Now I think we're at the end of the Bernie Marsden stuff now. Now we're in Ian Benson. So different stuff here. Scottish musician, best known as a member of Pilot and the Alan Parsons Project. Multi-instrumentalist there. So it looks like this has that Roland kind of synth thing on it. It's an Aria Pro 2. Let's see what else we got here. Line 6. Yamaha bass. One of these Hofner basses. Scarred by Fender Strat. Let's have a look at this quite nice looking Paul Reed Smith. 1000 to 1500 on that. A stage and studio played 1991 Paul Reed Smith CE24. Okay there. Used by Ian for all the Alan Parsons Project tours from 1993 to 1995. Lots of provenance-y things there. More PRS, another person that was obviously quite fond of PRS. Here's a McCarty custom build HSH custom 24 Always found that layout really weird with the single pickup in the middle. Always found it just a bit strange. Gibson, 2009 Gibson 59 reissue there. 3-4. Should that be popular? Once again, a lot of information there. That's probably a bit too much for us to go through. Fender Champ here. Black Star. I used to have one of these expression pedals at some point. Super Overdrive. Marshall's really old Blues Breaker, well, not that old, only 1998. Tube Screamer, always popular. Some other cases here. Some more pro audio stuff. Right, we're on to Gary Moore now. So we're getting into high figure things here. Right, Gary Moore, stage played 2009 Gibson Custom Shop Frankfurt 1959 reissue 20-30. I'm sure this must have been sold by someone else already before. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, there you go. Bonhams in 2022. So a lot of this stuff just kind of floats around from one auction to another, to be honest. Another Gary Moore stage used 2007 Gibson Custom Shop 1957 reissue 20-30. People keep it for a while. That's another one from Bonhams. You know, if they're collectors and value goes up a bit and they sell it on. So Peter Green stage used 1987 G&L electric guitar. Okay, interesting colour on that. Another one that was sold by Bonhams not that long ago either. Interesting 1965 Epiphone E444T. That's a curious looking guitar. Also another one that don't think I've seen before in any case. Yeah, all of these ones have gone through auctions before. It's quite common. Eric Clapton, artist owned and played prototype 1995 Martin 20-40,000. Okay, and where has that one come from? Because I'm sure it's come from somewhere. Wow, that's a lot of info on that one. Okay, maybe that's come from someone else instead. Bob McNett, Hank Williams in the Drifting Cowboys, 1938. So Martin guitar, 10-20. Martin D28 is a popular one. Some more info here. So there you go. This is kind of an interesting one, a little bit away from guitars, but Rare Violin by John H. Dykeman, Nazareth, July 1914, numbered to 2 inside. So an instrument made by a Martin affiliated person. Hard to say the value of these kind of things. Might sell. Hard to know. One of the former Martin Guitar Factory foreman, I think they've tried to sell this before. I just think the market for American made instruments is not that strong for kind of some of the older stuff, and especially things which are maybe not the best quality. And looking at it, I think it's maybe not the finest making, but interesting to see in the auction anyway. Okay, Jacob Pastorius, 15-25,000. Interesting, like Zamatis bass. That's interesting. Yeah, 1974 Anthony Zamatis custom 4-string bass. That's interesting. Made by Tony Zamatis for Melvin Whitaker in 1974. Okay. Interesting. That is quite curious. So there's some interesting bits in this auction. Graham Nash, EKO 12-string. Noel Redding, kind of Fender there. John Entwistle, Paul Reed Smith, guitar. Okay, and Kelly Jones, Stereophonics. On to the last page now. Bruce Watson, Big Country, Manny Charlton, Nazareth. I had a little video a while ago of a resonator owned by Manny Charlton, who also passed away not that long ago either. So a lot of these People are kind of starting to pass away, unfortunately. Deirdre Cartwright, TV used 1964 Fender Stratocaster. Interesting. Let's just see here what they're saying here. Purchased by Deirdre Cartwright from Chandler's Q in 1980. Main guitar that she used on the BBC TV Rock School series in 1983. Okay, there we go. 8 to 10,000 on that. That's curious. See what else we got here. David Johnstone, Elton John. One of these Yamaha amps here. Robbie McIntosh. Neville Kiddier. Let's have a look at that. Glider and the Pinkies. No idea there. 1976 Precision Bass. 3 to 4. Top of the Pops links there. Neville Kiddier again. Constrobo Strobe Tuner. These are pretty cool. Quite a nice looking one. Owned by Alan Rogan, renowned guitar tech. Rolling Stones, The Who, George Harrison. Various artists signed guitar. Let's see what else we got here. Beatles interest. Some more bits and pieces. So nothing too exciting. Some concert posters here, and that I think is it really. So yeah, that is the auction, the first day essentially of the guitar sale at Gardiner Houlgate on the 11th of June. Pretty interesting, especially if you like kind of if you're a fan of Whitesnake, Bernie Marsden, but also some Gary Moore related stuff as well, and some other things. So yeah, pretty interesting. Like nothing super crazy high value actually from the Bernie Marsden stuff. Maybe that was sold before in the past, because it looks like there's been some other sales, but some interesting collection. And I do like the way they had a lot of kind of custom made replicas, so that is really interesting, and people in the know will probably see the value in a lot of that stuff. But yeah, definitely interesting and worth checking out. So I'll put a link to the video in the description as always. See what you think. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.